Howdy-ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Oilers. Oilers versus Kraken, November 29th, 2025, game 26. Pre-show. So, big roster moves. Rosevich is out long-term with a reported hand injury. This one truly sucks. He has been the biggest surprise and benefit the Oilers have had this season thus far. So heal up and get back to us because we do need you. Wallman's out, expected back sometime in the upcoming 5-game homestand. They weren't saying what game, so it could be game 1, it could be game 5. I don't know. But he is expected to return in the 5-game homestand. Philip remains out on long-term injury reserve. Upper body, but it sounds more like a concussion. So those take a while. Sounds like he got his bell rung really bad, and sadly, those can take a couple days or they can take a few months. Every person's different. So, when you're dealing with the brain up there, it's better to be safe than sorry. So it sounds like he's out for a while. Coming back in, we have RNH. So missed, but sounds like he's on the third line, and all I can say about it is all right, that's enough swearing, but I'll get to that in a bit. Lazar also returns, which surprises me because, I just a week ago, I was saying it really did look like they were planning on trying to waive him, but I guess with the injuries to Rosevich, Kapanen, Wallman, Phillips, plans change. And it's not like Lazar's been a bad player. He hasn't been. He's a fourth line center, and he's played like a credible fourth line center. But, the Oilers have this bad habit of when the top two lines don't produce, they always go, and you'll hear this from Stauffer and all the media, well, our bottom six has to do more. No, how about our top six do more? If the top six is not scoring, why are we looking at the bottom six to replace the lack of scoring depth by the top six? That's never made sense to me. Skinner gets the start. What I wrote is, so the favoritism at the expense of the team continues, and I'm fed up. Is Nobby trying to make us lose? Now, remember, I write this before I see the game, so these were just my thoughts before the game, but, putting RNH on the third line, it made no sense to me at all. RNH finally back and was lights out good with McDavid before his injury. Savoy and McDavid have basically done nothing. Even this game, I'll flash to this game. McDavid got a goal in the fourth goal. So somewhere back in the neutral zone, Savoy, he did something. I didn't even see it on TV. Like the camera didn't even catch it, but he did something. And then the puck came up and Hyman battled on the boards. So as far as I'm concerned, Hyman battling on the board completely eliminates anything Savoy did back in the other zone. So Hyman battles on the boards and he passes over to McDavid, who roofs it for the fourth goal. The puck had gone from Savoy in our zone, got touched by some Seattle players. Ekholm took it. He passed it up the boards. Hyman battled on the boards. Hyman passed over to McDavid. McDavid scored. So it was McDavid from Hyman and Ekholm. Well, God, you would think that Savoy had the primary assist on that play listening to Louis and Jack. And I like Louis and Jack, but you would think, because they're, Savoy did this and Savoy did that. And he wasn't even involved in the bloody play. Like, can we stop already trying to make Savoy into what he clearly is not at this point in time? Do I think Savoy will be a top 6 player for the Edmonton Oilers? Yes, I do. I honestly do. But right now he's doing nothing out there and he's affecting McDavid's game. And I don't care if they won't say it, I'm saying it. McDavid has not been producing at the level we expect McDavid to produce. He is the best player in the game for a reason, but he needs his line mates to help him with that. He's got Hyman, and we saw them connect, but he's still missing his other winger. That should be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up there. It should be Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman. That is our money line. And then it's sad that Rosevich is injured because Podkolzin, Leon, Rosevich is our second money line. Then it's up to everybody else to make the third and fourth lines work. So anyway, of course, Savoy's gifted a top line, and RNH is on the third line. As I said, is Knobloch trying to make us lose? Like, I'm so frustrated with this. What I wrote is, I know, let's make RNH the water boy. That will help the team. I'm so sick of this. The lines are Savoy, McDavid, and Hyman, Podkolzin, Leon, and Majapani, Henrique, RNH, Janmark, Clattenburg, Lazar, and Fredericks. Bouchard and Ekholm, because they were so good allowing 5 goals against versus Dallas. Nurse and Regula, Kulak, and Emberson. Now, obviously, I hope I'm proven wrong. But just once, I want to see our top 6 lineup that makes me feel confident and makes sense to me. That's all I'm asking. So anyway, let's get to the game. Period 1. Oilers have come out hard. Or more correctly, Leon's line and RNH's line, so lines 2 and 3, have come out hard. 8-0 shots on goal, 4.5 minutes into the first period for the Oilers. So that first 8.5 or first 5 minutes was 4.5 minutes was just, it was all Oilers. And it was all our second and third line. It wasn't McDavid's line. They were pretty much invisible. And it wasn't the fourth line, but they get no minutes. And, you know, let's be honest, they're a shutdown line. They're not supposed, if you're expecting the fourth line to score for you, we got bigger trouble. And that's been part of the bigger trouble this whole season is Knobloch keeps trying to go until now, offense, and it hasn't been working. We haven't been outscoring our defensive liabilities. We haven't been outscoring average goaltending, and we've been losing because of it. So finally we get a shutdown line, and guess what they did tonight? They shut down the opponent. Oh my God. Who would have thought that, huh? Skinner faces first shot 5 minutes into the period. Like I said, we shut him down. Oilers penalty at 12:01, Kulak for holding. Seattle penalty at 9:47, goalie interference. Oilers goal at 8:31, power play goal. RNH from Bouchard and McDavid. Man, if only somebody had predicted that RNH and McDavid had chemistry together. I wonder who could have said such a thing. God, I miss that RNH goes where Savoy mostly refused, and that's what it was. Hyman as the net front presence, nice passing from McDavid and Bouchard. RNH deposits the puck into the net because he went to the hard area of the slot and got the pass. He didn't try to be a perimeter player. He stays on the outside until he's needed, and then he goes into the hard area. And that's the difference between RNH and Savoy in a nutshell. 1-0 Oilers. Oilers penalty, Kulak again, 3:06, high sticking. Then another Oilers penalty 15 seconds later for too many men on the ice. 5-on-3 for 1:45. And I was screaming. And Nobby puts Bouchard and Ekholm out. We've seen the 5-on-3 with those two out there before, and they got scored on twice. Luckily, this game they didn't get scored on, but that was more to do with Skinner than anything. Skinner had a very good game. But, you know, I don't get it. We have Nurse and Regula that have been our best defensive pairing, yet they never get used on the times where we're 5-on-3. It makes no sense to me. Oilers penalty. So we killed off the 5-on-3. We did. So I'll give them credit. You know, we killed it off. But again, Skinner stood on his frickin' head. And I still think it was a mistake because Bouchard does not block shots. Ekholm, well, you know, you could put somebody out there with Ekholm because Ekholm does block shots. But on a 5-on-3, you want your defensemen blocking shots, not trying to make themselves as tiny as possible. I actually heard Louis again today. Oh, good on Bouchard for getting out of the way. Block the bleeping shot. Don't get out of the way. Block the bleeping shot. It's not rocket science. Oilers penalty at 20.6 seconds left in the first. McDavid tripping. End of the first. Shots on goal were 11-12 for Seattle. 1-0 Oilers. Second period. Oilers penalty at 10:47. So we went almost 11 minutes with really not much happening in this game. Oilers penalty at 10:47. Leon elbowing. Marchment is completely under the Oilers' skin. You've seen Nurse, Henrique, Leon, and Lazar all take runs at him this game. And Leon got caught because Leon did deliver about 3 elbows and he got nailed for the third one. And this all stems because Marchment took a run at Nurse in the first period. It should have been a penalty. The referees chose and they saw it. They just chose not to call it, and that started leading the game down a more rougher end. Oilers goal at 7:30. Leon from Emberson and Majapani. 2-0 Oilers. I don't need to do a description. It was your typical Leon goal. Huge save by Skinner on a clear breakaway. Seattle penalty at 1:35 left in the second period. Cross-checking. Oilers goal at 1:09. Hyman from Leon and RNH. Leon bounces. This is your typical Hyman goal. Leon bounces puck off Hyman's skates and it goes in the net. So Hyman gets the credit. Hyman was the net front presence. He gave Leon that option and Leon took it. And again, this is what we've been missing for like at least 22 of the first 25 games. We've been missing reliable net front presence. And we got it today with Hyman. 3-0 Oilers. I can't overstate how huge it is having RNH and Hyman back. Now, if only we could get RNH back with McDavid and Hyman when 5-on-5. Maybe we can get McDavid's line going. End of the second. Shots on goal are 19-18 for the Oilers, 3-0 for the Oilers. Third period. Oilers goal at 13:35. McDavid from Hyman and Ekholm. And this is the one I described earlier. Hyman was wins board battle, gets the puck to McDavid, who roofs it. 4-0 for the Oilers. Clattenburg fight at 7:36. Clattenburg levels the Seattle player on the board. Seattle player mistakenly engages Clattenburg. Clattenburg destroys him in a short 3-punch fight. Clattenburg gets 2 for roughing and 5 for fighting. Seattle player gets 5 for using his face to block Clattenburg's punches before falling to the ice. That's really the most unbiased and fair description of that fight I can give you. Seattle has a power play. We kill off the power play. Then we get another fight. Regula at 4:47. This was a spirited, even fight behind the play. Lots of spinning and wild haymakers not quite connecting until they both just sort of fell to the ice. So there was, you call it a draw. There was no winner. There was no big connects or anything, no wobbly knees or anything like that. Nurse tries to get at Marchment, but Marchment hid behind the officials for the 4th time of the game. Both get 10-minute misconducts to remove them from the game. Like, Marchment was standing behind the referees, taunting Nurse, laughing at him. So they play again next week, and there's going to be some repercussions there. I'm pretty sure of that. And that was the end of the game. Oilers win 4-0. Shots on goal were 25-26 for Seattle. Welcome to the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins Show, with a special mention to Stuart Skinner and Connor Clattenburg. Can you guess who my 3 stars are? It was a solid team effort and win. It's hard to be critical when you shut out your opponent and score 4 goals. But I still think McDavid's line can be so much more impactful, but it's not going to happen with Matt Savoy on the McDavid line. Once again, that line was fairly silent for most of the game until late in the game when McDavid, Hyman, and Ekholm combined for the 4th goal. I just think we should be expecting more from a line with the world's best player, but he needs the line mates to do that. It's that simple. I'm not hating on Matt Savoy. As I said, Matt Savoy will be a top 6 player on this team. Just he's not ready yet. But there seems to be this internal political pressure to force him into that role. And my concern is, because he's not producing, does the lack of production undermine his confidence eventually? You know, if he was on the 3rd line, there wouldn't be the expectation. Like, when you play with McDavid, you are expected to produce, and he hasn't been. So my 3 stars for this game: 1 is RNH, 2 is Skinner, and 3 is Clattenburg. The slugs, really the only slug I saw was the penalties taken. RNH was a beast and completely changed how this team looked. No one player should have such a huge impact, but that's what's happened. RNH positively impacted every aspect of this game. Power play, penalty killing, even 5-on-5. Skinner got his 9th shutout, so you can't ask for more than that. I know some will anyways, but 0 goals against is the best you can ask for, unless you think our goalies need to fight and score as well. I honestly think some fans out there really do believe they need to. Clattenburg, listen, this kid is waking up the team with his physical play. It's infectious. And you can see the rest of the team starting to buy into that front. And that's really about this. They played a hell of a lot more physical this game than I've seen them all season. And I credit Clattenburg because he's out there. I think I heard he had 6 or 7 hits. He had the fight. He's making his presence known, even though he's on the fourth line. He's being that energy player and he's making everyone notice him. And that's exactly what you want for the fourth line player. You want them to not get scored on and lift up the rest of the team, doing the things that the rest of the team necessarily might not be willing to do until they see somebody else do it. The only slug is the amount of power plays we gave Seattle. We need to clean up taking those careless penalties. Like, there's good penalties and there's bad penalties, and we took a few bad penalties this game, and we need to clear those up. Oilers are now 11, 10, and 5. We start a 5-game homestand now. I won't lie. I want to see 4 to 5 wins in this next 5-game homestand. It's time for us to store some W's. We've given away a whole bunch of W's early in the season to teams that we should have never given them away to. So it's time now. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We need the W's. So now that they had this game and you cancel out the Dallas game, but the 2 games prior to the Dallas game were so strong, they know what they need to do. So now it's a matter of them going out and doing it. And if they go out and do it, I have no doubt we can win 4 or even 5 of the next 5 games. But it's on the team to do it. If we get another, I don't really feel like playing today, we're going to lose. So yeah, I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, but it's hard to be rah when we've seen them disappoint us so much this season already. Next game is Tuesday, December 2nd versus Minnesota at 7 p.m. on Sportsnet. And that's my recap for today. It was a great game. The Oilers played like a team, and that's what's been missing for far too long. So hopefully, after the Panthers game, I made a video saying, oh my God, did we just see the turn of the season? And then they came out with the lack of effort in the Dallas game. That I don't want to say that anymore. I just want to say, we've seen you guys do it. You've seen you do it. You know you can do it. So now it's just a matter of going out and doing it. Edmonton is one of the most talented, skilled teams in the league when they want to be. And from a fan perspective, I don't accept not wanting to be, ever. I just don't. You go out there and you play and you give us the full effort. And that's my video for today. If you like the video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. Takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. Always feel free to leave a comment. Please come in. Tell me your opinions. Not only does it get us interacting, but it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.